Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the hood is popped, the hatch is open, and we're going to get into some maintenance today. On my way back home from work, I noticed that my idle had been surging a little bit here and there, and my throttle felt a little funny. And something that struck me today is after I had installed the upper intercooler piping in my MAF translator and 3-inch GM MAF sensor, I forgot to clean out my throttle body. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know this car's got a ton of miles on it. I mean, it's in great shape for the amount of miles. It was always upkept, but for some reason, I'm thinking that there might be a little bit of dirt clogging up my throttle body. I mean, some days it idles nice, some days it idles like crap. So we're gonna go ahead and pop off that throttle elbow. We're gonna clean that thing out. I'm gonna show you how to adjust your throttle cable. And we're also gonna do one more thing. We're gonna get rid of that annoying clutch pedal switch, which everybody knows you got to push the clutch to the floor to start the engine. And from what I've read and been told, that can put unnecessary wear on your clutch. It can, in some cases, I guess, cause the crankwalk issue. I've watched a few videos from Jaffro Mobile where he suggests otherwise, blames a couple of the bolts on the transmission, one that could wiggle itself out and cause extra stress, diagonal stress on your output shaft. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop the throttle body open, we're going to clean that thing off, and we're going to do a couple other little things in this video, and hopefully it helps one of you guys out down the line. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is actually going to be disconnecting the clutch safety switch. But before we jump under the driver's side dashboard, we're going to take a good old can of PB Blaster here, and we are going to spray our connections for our throttle body, all the little bolts. Give them just a little shot of that magic stuff, because chances are this thing hasn't been off in quite a while, and I'm not trying to break a nut or a bolt or anything. And now we're going to jump underneath the driver's side dashboard and get that pesky little switch disconnected. Maybe save an engine or save some parts, or who knows. I guess it's better overall for your engine health. So let's do it. Okay guys, so we're over here on the driver's side, going after our little clutch switch. I just did mine. It is an absolute nightmare to get up in here. If you see right here, this little white plug, this is the one that you're after. And mine is actually in a bunch of pieces right now, but there's two connections on the back of it. If you look, you can see there's a broken off wire right there. That's the one that I snapped off, and now I can start without messing with the push the clutch down. Now, to give you guys a good idea of which one you're looking for, there are two switches. As you can see, when I push this pedal down, there's a switch right there. That is not the one that you want. You do not want this first switch right at the tip of my finger. If you see that silver rim, that is the one that goes in and out with your clutch pedal to control your cruise control. And if you have DSM Link V3, you can also use that switch for your no lift to shift feature. The one that you want is actually all the way, if you look right up here, the plate behind it, there's this white switch plugged in, and I can't get you a shot of it, but it's exactly like that switch there. And if you look right down here, oh, where'd she go? There's part of the switch. Basically, mine just disintegrated when I pushed in on the side of the metal housing. There's these two little white clips you can actually see up there on the plug. There's a space on the left side and the right side. There's these two little white tabs that you can push out with a flathead screwdriver and just push this whole mechanism back, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to tuck this little plug here away and hide it for now in some place it's more accessible if I need to get to it in the future. And now I can start without pushing that clutch pedal down, which is going to help with the crank walk. Alright, next project. What a pain in the butt that was. I just wanted to share this thing with you. This is the remains right here of that switch. And it looks to me, these little white tabs, once you press those out, the back of the plug, you can yank it right off. I don't know if this was part of the back of the plug assembly or what, but that fell out while I was jimmying stuff around. Maybe got lost in the wiring above the fuse panel at one point in its life, but regardless of that, it looks like there is a metal spring here on the inside of the switch, a big spring, and a steel ball. And it looks to me like, I don't know if I can get you a good shot of it, but if you look on the end of this, there's a groove dug in it. It almost looks like that little steel ball slides back and forth on this piece of copper to complete the connection or break the connection to allow you to start the car when you depress the pedal. So if you end up with some guts like that, try turning your key, make sure it's in neutral, and always check for neutral after you do this. But anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. Now we're gonna go up front and clean out the throttle body. Okay, so now that we've soaked everything with a little bit of PB Blaster, we're going to take apart some of the upper intercooler piping. We're going to take the 4 nuts and the long bolts off of the throttle body elbow, and that's going to give us access to the throttle plate. We're going to clean it off. So I'm going to throw you off to the side while I take all this stuff apart, and we're going to see where we land in a couple of minutes, guys. So we got our throttle body elbow off. Now we're gonna take a look in here, and I bet you can probably see the top of that throttle is absolutely filthy. It's black, solid black. Let's see if we can get a better angle for you. Yeah, it's pretty nasty in there. So what I did was I did my little one-man pry bar on the gas pedal and moved the seat forward to hold it at wide open throttle. The brick wouldn't hold it. Kind of funny. So what I'm going to do is just verify the wide open throttle is set, and obviously that is looking pretty darn close to perfect. I think the only other thing we can do to check that is to see if there's any more play up, because she's right around even. There is no more distance for that thing to go. So I think that wide open throttle is set correctly. It's just so filthy in there. I'm going to clean it out real fast. If you look towards the bottom, you can see some oil had leaked down from the nasty intercooler piping that was on there beforehand. I'm just going to wipe this bad boy out. Now when you do this clean out, you can see there's the 2 little holes at the bottom there. I believe those go to your throttle, or your IAC and your throttle position sensor. You want to make sure that you don't get any brake parts cleaner or throttle body cleaner or whatever cleaning fluid you're using down in those holes, because it will kill the sensors. So what we're going to do is spray it on a rag, wipe it all out, get it nice and clean, clean that butterfly valve off real good, and we're going to put this bad boy back together, fire it up without having to push the clutch pedal in to start it, and see if the idle evens out. It's been jumping around quite a bit, so let's give it a whirl. Alright, so after about 20 minutes of scrubbing this thing, we got all the nasty, oily, greasy, black crap off of that throttle plate. And behind that throttle plate, I cleaned a lot of nasty residue out. I think that there was some problems going on with that, probably that PCV valve or the vent line going into the intake, or maybe the old turbo was a little nasty, blowing some oil. I've never seen a dirtier throttle body in my life. Maybe it was just pure neglect, we don't know. But we're gonna throw this back together and I'm going to fire this thing up and see if the idle, after it warms up for a few minutes, stops surging. Just for reference, I wanted to show you guys some of these nasty rags I pulled out of there. A lot of that stuff is pretty thick. That nasty black, oily, tarry stuff. That one's shredded, but I got all the pieces out, thank God. Alright, that's it. So, looks like it's a moment of truth. Let's see if the idle's calmed down. Let's jump inside the car and fire her up. Okay, so moment of truth. Well, that's better already. It was bouncing like crazy beforehand, jumping up, like I said, a couple hundred RPMs at a time, but that's pretty steady. I think we fixed it. Beautiful. Alright guys, so like I told you in the previous videos, we've got some more Go Fast parts coming. If you can hear my leaky exhaust, we've got a replacement on the way, just waiting for it to arrive. We're going to be doing the turbo swap here in a couple of days, hopefully. We're waiting on a front mount intercooler system to come in, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned because you're going to see a bunch more mods go on this vehicle in the coming weeks. So if you like this video, drop me a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to comment on anything if you have any questions, or if you know an easier way of doing some of this stuff, feel free to suggest it. I love suggestions. I love communicating with my fellow DSMers. And until next time, guys, we'll see you at today's project guide.